Hi, Dave here, and we have a new episode of the art review series. And this time we're going to take a look at the work of William Kalkanis-Ellis. Cool name. So he does have a very kind of minimal portfolio in his art station. However, I still would love to show his work because I do like the way he handles things. It's also very quite painterly. I mean, he can do some nice 3D stuff, but I think he shines in his 2D work. For me, because of course I do have a lean for now. So we'll start with his first piece, and this is a kind of untitled film project back in 2014, and but he did some pretty cool pieces on this one. For this one, so we've got some kind of ape designs right here, and again, it's kind of silhouette-y. The body parts are kind of the same. However, he does do a little design with the face, or excuse me, the head, and he does have like an orangutanish, kind of monkey-ish, chimpanzee-ish kind of face, and yeah, it's really just kind of a black and gray painting silhouette design. So it's kind of a thumbnail, but it has some kind of detail with the head. And this is one of his kind of environmental pieces. So this could be an actual keyframe or his kind of proposal for a keyframe. I mean, to me, it looks like more of a keyframe. But again, you can see kind of some design elements, a basic kind of design. Really, actually minimal design, because I feel this could even be some kind of mood piece. And you know what? I'm going to drag this to the side, as well as this guy. And I feel like I'm more inclined to do these kinds of things where I want to capture a certain mood, especially with the lighting and stuff. Even right now, I'm actually kind of excited to kind of go over his work because, okay, so this is actually a colored piece of one of his grayscale paintings. Now for me, I actually have to learn how to color grayscale stuff. I mean, you can do it with some kind of with the kind of layering or blending modes, kind of the multiply and stuff like that. But I don't have enough experience yet. I mean, I can paint things in grayscale, but I should be able to kind of develop my shortcuts and kind of process for coloring grayscales or adding color to my grayscale paintings, because for grayscale paintings you can actually accomplish a lot. The same with black and white stuff, kind of a pure black and white, because you're already kind of eliminating one more thing, which is the color, or one big thing which can take time, and that's color. So by doing some grayscale paintings, you can focus on, say, the lighting and of course the design. And if ever I were to do some kind of fine details, I think I could do it after doing some kind of basic color passes, So yeah, it's very interesting to let me just move that here, and let's drag this guy. The reason why I do kind of drag or keep a library of photos or artwork from artists that I feel is good is because it kind of creates a standard in my mind, and I can kind of regularly take a look at that kind of library of art, and it can kind of refresh the kind of my ideal kind of artwork that I would like to create. Okay, so this is actually a 3D, and for this one he is using ZBrush, and he's actually pretty good. One day I will be doing these. I mean, look at that. Very cool anatomy and stuff. So at first I actually thought this was some kind of ZBrush kind of thing with some kind of style. But apparently this is just Photoshop. These are some of his designs for alien heads. Very interesting. It actually reminds me of Alex Jones. Oh shit. Alex Jones? No, not that guy. The Gay Frogs guy. No. Anthony Jones. Because he does a lot of creatures. And I think, yeah, he's kind of made a name for himself when it comes to creature designs. So it did remind me of Anthony Jones. But look at the way he renders the kind of little bumps in the skin or in the kind of anatomy of the head. Very interesting. And let me just drag that to the side. And I think he may have started with some kind of line work, a basic kind of line silhouette or sketch, and then he just painted over the kind of head. Looks really cool, and yeah. And I love how the eyes are kind of small. Oh, so he worked on Beauty and the Beast. So he did some character designs and keyframe sketches for Disney's Beauty and the Beast back in 2017. So these are some cool designs and very silhouette stuff, kind of big picture, and he adds some kind of character. It's not just kind of a flat thing. He does add some kind of a slight bit of story, I guess, to his sketches. Very interesting. So these are some of his keyframe stuff. Wow. And you can tell he does use some photos, but wow. Very interesting. So these are some of his head sketches. Ooh, I can feel my stomach rumbling. Okay, so he can do some kind of character designs. Very interesting. Okay. So these are some of his, let me just drag that to the side. I'm actually kind of impressed with his composition sketches, and he has a few of these kind of stuff, and you can kind of see how his kind of initial composition sketch makes it to the kind of more finished painting. And I also do want to get good at this because it does determine the rest of your painting, and doing kind of quick sketches, composition sketches like these helps you to save time because you can kind of churn out a lot of ideas quickly, and you can kind of pick out which one fits the best, right? So for him, he doesn't actually have a lot of grays. It's more, he's very close to kind of the pure black, pure white, maybe a little bit of grays, but it's pretty much kind of a very contrasted image. Very cool. So this one, I think this is a personal work of his back in 2018. And this could be actually some kind of keyframe. And I want to, this is kind of my my preference. Very powerful. Oh, look at that. He showed this kind of brushstroke there. Wow. Ho 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 ho. Ho ho. This is some kind of photo. He probably warped this to make it kind of feel more explosion-y. He added some kind of blur in the background. Copy and replace. Oh shit, sorry. And yeah, and you can see his kind of painterly style here. Oof. So this was back in 2019. It was a keyframe. This is a keyframe illustration. And this one is the composition sketch. Now, look at that. It does transfer well. And you can tell that this thing kind of takes less time. But if you can kind of figure out kind of the main kind of position, perspective, composition, and maybe a bit of storytelling, you can more confidently invest in this piece with some heavier painting, maybe some color, some photo bashing, and adding some colors and stuff. So let me just drag that to the side. Ooh, so this one is a Joan of Arc illustration back in 2018. Now I think there's a movie, a very old movie of this, starring the kind of Djokovic chick, I think. I want to watch it someday. I don't know, it's just really cool for me seeing her in this kind of very again, the composition sketch kind of makes it to the painting, and I should definitely do more and get good at this kind of initial skill. Very interesting. So let me just drag it, and you can see how he's also really good with just painting in general, and he can add photos when need be to kind of save time, and just paint over it to kind of fix it up. But everything else is pretty cool. So here's another piece of his, and again, he starts up with a nice composition sketch. This was back in 2018, and eventually he can do this. Now this is the kind of level of detail that I want. It's not even, if you focus in, it's not even that detailed, but it gives the feeling of a mech. I mean, look at this guy. You can tell this is some kind of awesome mech. And he's very good with the kind of big shapes thing. And he just kind of fills out the details or suggests details. And he puts the kind of highlights or kind of where the light hits in just the right places to get you to feel that. For example, this thing is just kind of coming out and the sun is up and it's kind of just appearing, and it's a nice sketch. And it's kind of from this hanger thing. And it's about to cause some damage. Gosh, I'm kind of hungry, actually. Fuck. So this one doesn't have a composition sketch, but again, this could be some kind of keyframe. And look at that. I like the kind of blur here. You know, this is the kind of blur that I like, because when people do too much of it, it doesn't look like a keyframe anymore, or it doesn't even make sense. And it can actually make your kind of, if you have some kind of character, it can make it feel even smaller. And yeah, make sure you use it sparingly. For example, this one has some kind of slight motion blur, a little bit, just a very little bit. Oh, I love this butterfly. So there is some kind of storytelling that's kind of going on here. This reminds me of the scene in kind of Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf, when Gandalf, I don't know if Gandalf summons the moth. It's kind of a butterfly moth thing, or it just kind of appears in this kind of time of need. But it's really cool. And I love the eel. So he could have used some photos here. But again, you know, he's in charge of this painting. He is the boss, the creator. And, you know, he's pretty good with the kind of, with some basic anatomy. He's kind of in tune with the oh shit, I did copy. He's in tune with the fundamentals. Okay. So this is another keyframe of his, kind of a keyframe. It's an underwater mech. This was done back in 2018, and look at that composition sketch. Look how this guy made it roughly to this. Oh wow, I mean, so we've got some photos, but he's also pretty good with blending things together. And it does, because I've seen kind of photo bashing stuff that's kind of disjointed, and it doesn't have to be a matte painting kind of photo bash level, because their matte painters are usually the kind of the more realistic pros, and they're very they can see more and make things a little more realistic. But this is kind of a good enough kind of idea to kind of give out. Oh, I did copy it. Okay, so yeah, again, he loves the kind of pure, very kind of close to pure black and white stuff. And then, bam, he just, so you can tell he used some kind of, he just kind of made this kind of suit bigger to kind of fit this guy. And it's kind of a mixture of all sorts of things. So he definitely did some research with the finding the right photos, obviously, but everything else he kind of blends with the painting, with this kind of very nice painting. And I actually like this kind of style, because if you kind of zoom in a little bit and kind of focus, you can see a bit of his strokes, very small ones, but it's there. And you know what, maybe for me, I would have made this, if I could have done this, I would have made it a little more painterly. But again, you know, this is still amazing to me, so whatever. So for this guy, he actually used Terror of the Undermountain. Also, it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing, Terror of the Undermountain design contest. Oh, so he's kind of the grand prize winner. Well, awesome. So he did use some ZBrush and maybe and some Photoshop for some kind of cleaning up stuff. Again, very cool sculpting here. Okay. So this was done back in 2018 as well. So he did some kind of sketches. So here he does have some grays. So it's not exactly a pure black and white. But I'm going to, according to his kind of post here, he only used, this is classified as digital 2D, and it doesn't say he used some kind of 3D for this one. Although at first I did think this could be some kind of Blender kind of thing, but I don't think so. I think he used some kind of a custom shape that he distorted to kind of fit each kind of major plane of this structure, or maybe some kind of photo with that's kind of edited to be kind of pure black and white, and he kind of laid that and distorted that, or maybe he has some kind of brush, a custom made brush that he made, and then it's kind of a flat kind of thing, and then he distorted that kind of flat thing and put it on each kind of plane. And you can see some shapes kind of do repeat, so I would not be surprised. And it does kind of save time as well, and it's super cool. And I love how he varies his compositions. For example, here you've got a big kind of foreground thing. Here it's kind of just kind of 10% of the frame. Here it's 10% but onto the side. And in these three on the left hand side, you've got a little bit here, but it's kind of far away a little bit, because I'm going to assume because of the values are kind of different. This one is more, you could be flying or something. It's kind of in the mid level. And here is more of a man's eye somewhere. And you can't really see the kind of foreground that kind of goes to your feet. Here you can kind of see it. Well, not really, but I like the variations, and I think these are very important to kind of find the right image to render more. Oh shit, I did. So I think for this guy, he picked out, it could be this. I think he picked out this guy. Yes, he did. And you can tell, some of these kind of black stuff is from this kind of initial thing. So this helps you kind of tackle the kind of big picture problems. and you can solve like a bulk of your kind of problems in this kind of face. So I think thumbnailing and stuff like that is very important. And thumbnailing can have many uses. So yeah, bam. So this one is untitled. Unfortunately, we don't have a composition sketch, but I'm going to assume he did the same thing. But I do like this level of painting. It's very impressionistic. It's kind of my thing. It reminds me just a little bit of the work of Eric, I believe Eric Gagnon. I think that's his name, something like that. But yeah. So that's an Indian flag right there. Is this guy Indian? I don't think so. William? Kalkanis-Ellis? I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe it's kind of a project thing. Perhaps. But again, look at those strokes. It's not even that detailed. It's not like he figured out every single kind of mechanical part. But I can feel the mechness of this thing. Right? So this one's awesome because we have a composition sketch in the bottom. And again, he solves a lot of the problems in this phase, and you can see the moment he starts kind of painting things, adding some kind of photo texture, adding those bits of kind of supplementary stuff to kind of add to the story, and of course painting in, I think this is some kind of mixer brush tool, or if not, a smudge tool. And wow, oh, look at that kind of reflection of this kind of life support kind of cable, and he showed it here. Wow. Look at that. And I love the confidence of this kind of strokes. I think he did use the mixture brush for this one. Look at that. Wow. And I'm sure he did kind of a simple layering. We've got kind of this kind of structure. We've got the actual guy. We've got this kind of particles, kind of things that are breaking apart. And then in the background, he added a kind of planet. Moon, planet-ish. I'ma copy this bad boy to the side. Oof. Now this one is actually done. Oh, this reminds me of his kind of other work with the kind of eels and stuff, with the kind of butterfly. So this could be in the same world. So I don't think he does have a kind of a theme. Because again, he doesn't have a lot in this kind of art station, but he has some kind of sci-fi, he has some fantasy, some kind of adventure kind of stuff. So he's kind of varied, and he can essentially do anything. And again, I love the kind of the painterliness of this thing. Some photos, and I want to be able to do this where I'm mostly in charge, because I feel, and it looks like this guy is mostly in charge because he doesn't photo bash everything. You know, I don't want to be that guy, because I am, well, at least based on my kind of recent, my current stuff that I've done, yeah, I'm kind of the over reliant photo bash guy. So I need to be able to do my painting. So hopefully in the kind of next art log episode, I will update you with my current works. Okay. Oh, wow, this is fucking sexy. I mean, first of all, we've got the ship right here. There's just something about it. It's kind of a mix between kind of sharp, kind of jabby lines, and of course those kind of nice curves. And it kind of fits, guess what? This chick right here. Look at that. So this is some kind of a vehicle display thing, and they're kind of presenting it, and we've got this kind of rich folk. Oh, look at that. I love the reflection here, and this one is very He used probably some kind of color dodge, hard light stuff for this one. And again, it's very suggestible. I think this is the kind of thing that I would love or to do. So some photo bashing for the folks. And the reflections. Oh, this guy should be here actually, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, so that's kind of a detail there. But for the rest of this stuff, for this one he painted these kind of reflections. This one is kind of just a flip. This could be some kind of PNG. But yeah, for this one, look at that kind of painting. It reminds me somehow of Sid Mead, because Sid Mead does a lot of kind of vehicles and stuff. Although his style is very different, very gouache, because he likes using gouache. This thing is pretty cool as well. I love the kind of reflections there. It looks like a vehicle to me, so I guess he succeeded with depicting that this is a vehicle. Yeah, we've got the cockpit here. It's very futuristic though, so I don't know how this thing will work, but I love the kind of this could be some kind of power cells, or maybe just kind of a design element. Oh, it's a Ferrari-ish thing. Wow, I didn't see that before. Okay. And again, this chick, I love it when you add the kind of supplementary kind of chick. Of course, you don't overdo it. Don't put a chick everywhere. It doesn't make sense. But for kind of a display show, I mean, they do have kind of the models and stuff. They will help present with the products. I think it's more of a marketing thing where they want to associate hot with the car. So this is more of a. So he did use some ZBrush, some Maya, and some Keyshot, and then also Photoshop. So you can tell he's definitely not an amateur also when it comes to 3D modeling, and his modeling, at least for based on his portfolio, is more organic stuff. So more characters, more creatures and stuff. Okay. Very interesting. So this is kind of his last piece in his work. So maybe this guy is just really busy. So this was back in 2019, Untitled. And he doesn't have a lot of followers on ArtStation, but I do recommend, if you're kind of interested in kind of the painterly stuff, the composition sketches, and the more impressionistic strokes, and maybe even some organic 3D, I would suggest you take a look at William Kalkanis-Ellis' ArtStation, and subscribe or follow this guy, because this guy is fucking awesome. And I think he does deserve to be featured. At least I think that, and I'm going to assume some of you feel the same way. So that's the art review for this day. It's pretty short, 28 minutes. Wow. It's my shortest so far, but yeah, we were able to review someone's awesome work. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay free.